Hello, hello. Am I audible? Yeah, am I audible, everyone? Yeah, am I audible? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So we'll start with our discussion. So I'll be taking your history and polity questions over here. So the first question, that is question number 59th in your test. It is about with reference to the Pala Empire. So Palas, they were ruling the Bengal region. Pala Empire. Consider the following statements. Now, here, if you look to the statements, what is the question that is asked? Not correct. So you need to pay attention between, such kind of. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ajay. So this statement is, they are asking which is not correct. So the first statement, Pala Empire was founded by Gopal in the 8th century. Yes, this is the correct statement. So if you analyze, this is the Bengal region over here. Here were the Pala dynasty, right? Pala dynasty, the Palas, Pratiharas, the Rashtrakutas. Here the tripartite struggle during the 7th century, end of 7th century, that is the 8th century, it was taking place, and the main tripartite struggle took place for Kannauj, which is in present day UP. So here, so Palas, you have Rashtrakutas, and the Pratiharas. So these three important contemporary dynasties which ruled during this time, right? So Palas, Pratiharas, and the Rashtrakutas. Now the Pala rulers were great patrons of Buddhist learnings and religion. Yes, we do come to know about this from the various universities, the Buddhist affiliated universities, Nalanda University, right? The Vikramshila University. So this statement is also correct. Third statement says that Dharmapala founded the Nalanda University and revived the Vikramshila University. Actually, it was founded by Kumar Gupta, but yes, he did revived this Nalanda University, but not founded. So the third statement is incorrect, and our answer becomes 3 only. Right? So next statement, I would ask everybody, request everybody to please get in. Yeah, they were also in the Tripaksh Sangharsh. Okay. Yeah, tripartite struggle, that is what we call. I would also request you all to have a good conversation here, and I would appreciate if you are commenting on whatever questions we are solving over here. So I'll be taking your history questions and a few of the important political questions also we will be seeing, because political questions are more if you go towards here, the committee oriented questions. So Devaraya 1, consider the following statement. He found, so here which of the above are correct, they are asking. He founded the Tulluva dynasty of Vijayanagar. Actually, he was not the founder of Tulluva dynasty. It was founded by Veer Narasimha. Veer Narasimha was the founder of Tulluva dynasty. See, Vijayanagar, or if you go to the ancient and medieval times, what is important from our UPSC exam perspective is the personalities are very important, the dynasties are important, the places are important. So this is how you need to approach the medieval and ancient India. Telugu work Amukta Malyada was authored by him. It was not Devaraya one, actually it was Krishna Devaraya. Who it was? It was Krishna Devaraya. Krishna Devaraya, who was known for Amukta Malyada. It was a Telugu work. Good afternoon, Anita. An Italian traveler Nicola Conti visited Vijayanagar during his reign. Yes, this is correct, and the correct answer is 3 only. So Vijayanagar Empire, also when you learn about these dynasties, do relate your studies to its architecture, because it is very, very important. Question number 61. Which of the following states were annexed by application of doctrine of lapse? Doctrine of lapse, due to doctrine of this was applied during the time of Dalhousie. Dalhousie, he applied this theory of doctrine of lapse. Was he an inventor of the doctrine of lapse? The answer is no. Right? The answer is no. Similarly, this administrative tools, ये जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टूल्स हैं of British rule in India, these are very important. You have the doctrine of lapse, you have the subsidiary alliance, these are very, very important. Now when we come to doctrine of lapse, what was this doctrine? The doctrine which was given by Dalhousie, as in he revived it. He said that if a ruler does not have his higher, that is उनका अगर वंश नहीं हो खुद का, so the rule or the kingdom will not be transferred to that particular individual if he is not a heir to the ruler. So अगर खुद के वंश नहीं है तो it will lapse. What will lapse? The rule of the ruler or the his ruling ability will be lapse. So that is where what is known as the doctrine of lapse. And according to this doctrine of lapse, many small princely states were annexed by, kingdoms were annexed by this Dalhousie or the British East India Company. Among them were Satara, there were Jhansi, there were Nagpur, you have Sambhalpur, you also have Sambhalpur, Bhagat, Udaipur, Jhansi, Satara, Jaitpur. But in the end, even after annexing, there were few states that could not be annexed by this doctrine of lapse. One of them was Awadh. So this Awadh was annexed on the pretext of maladministration. Maladministration, and not on the pretext of doctrine of lapse, because it could not be applied in Awadh. So 1856 it was annexed over here, and this became one of the reason for the 1857 revolt. See, when you study this part, study such administrative tools, you need to go into the depth, the background, the impact, the significance this way. So this Punjab, this is not the correct answer. Punjab actually was taken over by the British East India Company through the Second Anglo-Sikh War in 1848 after the Treaty of Lahore, which was after the First Anglo-Sikh War. So Punjab is not the answer. The answer will become 1, 3 and 4. Now Mansabdari system, this is also a very easy question. It was so it was a grading system. Yes, it was a grading system where the officers were graded, where the nobles were graded, used by the Mughals to fix rank, they fix salaries and military responsibilities, right? The question here is asked as which of the following statements are correct. So this is the correct statement. Mansabdars received their salaries as revenue assignments for Jagirs. Yes, Jagir means a piece of land. So these two statements are correct. Now, this third statement, gradual decrease in number of Mansabdar after Akbar led to weakening of empire. It is not the decrease, it is the increase that were the reason for decline of Mughal empire. So, अगर decline of Mughal अगर हम देखें, so one of the major reason was the Jagirdari crisis. Where you see the number of Jagirs, जो land है, which were lesser, and the number of people to whom it was given were more. So there were n number of stakeholders for a particular piece of land. So this was the Jagirdari crisis which arrived, due to which the Mughal Empire started declining. Right? So this Mansabdari, this is not there was not a decrease, but it was due to increase that led to this decline of Mughal Empire. Right? Now the next question, Delhi Sultanate and the local administration unit head. This type of questions in medieval India, this becomes very important, because certain terms are there which are different than the modern terms, and that is why certain questions have been asked. So Paragana, the local administration head was Amil. Yes. Village, he is the Mukadam. In today's India also, many of the places they call the Mukadam word is used. And you have Khalisa. Now the Khalisa land was the land which was under the control of the emperor, the Sultan. So he was the one who is responsible, or who looked after this Khalisa land. And the rest of the land, that were the Iktas, they were looked by this Walis. So this statement is incorrect. So the answer to this, 1 and 2 are correctly matched. Yeah, so after 63 we have 65. First we will be taking the history related question. 65, which of the following statements is correct regarding the Mimamsa school of philosophy? It is one of the 6 schools of philosophy that we see in the Indian history. Right? So Vedas are eternal and possess all knowledge. Yes, this is true regarding the school of Mimamsa. It lays stress on ritualistic part of Vedas. Yes, it says that rituals karna, to believe in Vedas, that is very important. Sabar Swami and Kumarila Bhatta were associated with this philosophy. Yes, they were associated with this philosophy. Now question number 66. These paintings are practiced by indigenous people that occupy mainly the Gujarat Maharashtra border, have a close resemblance to the mural paintings. Now see, the important words over here is the location is Gujarat Maharashtra border, indigenous painting. Traditionally these paintings are done on walls using basic graphic vocabulary, including the triangle, a circle. So this kind of geometrical figures are used where? In the Varli paintings. So a traditional Indian painting form, which is the location is, these people are mostly in the located in the Western India side, that the Gujarat Maharashtra border. And what is the main element that is used? So they make a paste. From the rice powder, and that the painting is then done on the walls. But traditionally it has been explored on different surfaces also. So this Varli painting is very famous. Manjusha painting, these paintings are also famous. Thangta, Manjusha paintings. Now with reference to the Mauryan art, 67, and architecture. Mauryan art and architecture, this is a very important concept or very important theme from your UPSC prelims perspective. Mauryan used stone masonry on a wide scale. Yes, this statement is true. The capitals of Mauryan pillars are usually depicted animals like bull, elephant, the rear. We see that the Sarnath capital is the national emblem of India. So these capitals on the pillars, they used to have this capital. It may be a bull capital, it may be a lion capital. So this capital. Now the third statement says that the Barabar caves is an example of natural cave. So Barabar cave, which is there in the in the Barabar hills, right, which were given to the Ajivika sect. Ajivika sect during the Mauryan times, it is not a natural cave. It is not a natural cave. So the third statement is wrong. The first two statements are correct. Yeah, Harappan seals, very important. Last year too, there was a question of certain type regarding the Harappan seals, or which of the animals are found in the Harappa. So the evidences, what we call is evidences, where you do not have a lot of literary sources there, this archaeological evidences becomes very important. So please make a list of all the archaeological evidences and keep a list with you so that you can read it before the exam. Most of the Harappan seals have inscription in pictographic script. Yes, they do have. No Indus seals were found in, no gold seals. Gold seals were found in the Indus Valley. This is false, because gold seals were also found. Indus Valley seals have been found in the Mesopotamia cities. Yes, we do have in the Mesopotamia, even in the Gulf countries. So even in the Gulf countries. So if you see, this is, so here the Persian countries, so the Persian countries, the Mesopotamia, all over here, the trade activities were going on during the time of Indus Valley civilization. So here it becomes, this statement is correct. So 1 and 3 are correct over here. Question number 69. The Kakori train action, which was undertaken in 1925 HRA, Hindustan Republican Association. So during the time, so during this 1925, the train was looted by this Hindustan Republican Association revolutionaries. A train which was looted near Kakori, in Kakori, which is very close to Lucknow region. The Lucknow region, it is this Kakori village, it was close to the Lucknow region. So this train, which was carrying a lot of cash, this was looted by the revolutionary to show the British that we are not sitting alone, we can also harm you, and this they wanted to destabilize the British administration, and so this was done. So Kakori train action was organized by Abhinav Bharat Society. The answer is no. Abhinav Bharat Society, which was started by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar and his brother Ganesh Savarkar. In 1899, they started it as the Mitra Mela Society, and afterward it was renamed as Abhinav Bharat Society. So this incident took place in UP. So this statement is incorrect. Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan and Chandrasekhar Azad were hanged for their involvement in it. Chandrasekhar Azad, he actually was able to escape from it, and that is why he later on he establishes this HSRA. So this statement is also incorrect, right? So both the statements are incorrect over here. Now 70 question number. Which of the following leaders never held the post of President of Indian National Congress? Very important. The important Indian National Congress sessions, their president, their locations and their output, that is the significant resolutions or the significance of that particular Indian National Congress sessions are very important. Now Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was never a president of the Indian National Congress, neither was Mahadev Govind Ranade. MG Ranade was neither a president. Ambika Charan Majumdar, AC Majumdar, was the president in 1916, the Lucknow session. The Lucknow session, which is very significant in the Indian history, because it led to the coming together of the moderates, the extremists in the Indian National Congress, which had already done a split in 1707 session of Surat. So yes, 1907 May, when the Surat session took place, when the session at Surat took place, there you see the split in the Indian National Congress, that is in moderates and extremists, right? Am I audible, everyone? Yeah. So this Surat session के बाद ये after 9 years it took for them to bring them together. Here also we see the Lucknow Pact between the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, wherein very important acceptance was given by the Indian National Congress for the Muslim League's separate electorate. So separate electorate is what this Indian National Congress accepted. Now, which of the following regarding All India Kisan Sabha are true? All India Kisan Sabha was founded in 1936 by M.N. Roy. M.N. Roy was instrumental in founding the Communist Party of India in 1920 in Tashkent. So it was All India Kisan Sabha, it was founded by Swami Sahajananand, not by M.N. Roy. So here correct statement you need to give. Second session of All India Kisan Sabha was presided by Jawaharlal Nehru. It was not presided by Jawaharlal Nehru. Yeah, Faizpur session of 1936 was the first session of Congress to be held in a village under the influence of All India Kisan Sabha. So this statement is only correct. With reference to the modern Indian history, so chronologically we have to arrange from the earliest. Cripps mission arrived in 1942. And because of this failure of this Cripps mission, we see that the Quit India movement is launched by the Indian leaders. Rajaji formula, C. Raja Gopalachari, one of the stalwarts of Indian politics, he gave a solution to the issues that were going during that time. That Muslim League was not accepting. The Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, they were on the different pages. So that is why this Rajaji formula, he gave a formula in 1944. August offer, that came in 1940. Wavell gave a plan, the Viceroy gave a plan in 1945, wherein the executive council of the Viceroy was to be extended and all the Indians were to be included in here. So this Wavell gave a plan to make the council Indian. Now this is now, so first will be 3, that is 1940, then Cripps mission 1, and then you have the then you have the Rajaji formula, that is 2, and then the Wavell plan. So 3, 1, 2, 4. Yeah, 73. Question number 73. Again over here. Which pair of the inscription and associated personality? This is the question. So Mandsaur inscription is not related to Samudragupta. It is Kumaragupta. And Samudragupta, we have the Allahabad inscription or the Prayag Prashasti. Allahabad inscription, that is important. Nasik inscription, Hathi Gumfa Satakarani. Yes, this is true. Hathi Gumfa inscription, Ashoka. This is also not true. Hathi Gumfa in the Udayagiri caves, it is related to the Kharavela king, King Kharavela. So this is not true. So the answer to this is only 2 is correct. So here I guess history questions. Yeah, Lee Commission, very easy question. So civil services reforms के लिए 1923 this commission was established, Lee Commission. Then Rayatwari settlement, very important. 1820. Hi everybody. 1820 is this Rayatwari was established in the Bombay and the Madras region. So if you take over here, so this part is where Rayatwari was established. So it considered around nearly 51% of the total British territories in India, right? So it was introduced by Thomas Munro and Alexander Reed. Yes, this is true. In Rayatwari settlement, the ownership rights were handed over to Zamindar. It was not handed to Zamindar but directly to the Rayat, and that is why it is known as the Rayatwari settlement. So it is not the Zamindar but it is to the Rayat. Where it is handed to the Zamindar? In the permanent settlement in the Bengal region, which started by Lord Cornwallis in 1793. Yeah, so this statement is wrong. Now failure of Rayatwari led to introduction of permanent settlement. Actually this is opposite. The failure of permanent settlement led to the Rayatwari settlement. So this is also false. So after the 76 question number, we'll move to 77. Yeah, with reference to the administration of scheduled areas under 5th schedule, consider the following statement. It is applicable to the administration of scheduled areas in all the state except is Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Yes, this is true, because in these states it is the schedule 6 that is applicable. Tribes Advisory Council cannot be formed in a state which does not have a schedule area. False. It can be formed in other states. True. Question number 70. With reference to the organization of the Supreme Court, consider the following statement. Maximum strength of Supreme Court judges decided by Parliament. It is not decided by the President, and that is why in 2019 also they increased the number of the judges. An ad hoc judges is appointed to the Supreme Court by the President. It is not by the President, it is by the Chief Justice of India, and by the consent of President. After the consent is taken, so he is appointed an ad hoc judge. So both the statements are incorrect. So the question is asking about incorrect. So both the statements are incorrect. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Public Account Committee. The Public Accounts Committee. Question is about the Public Accounts Committee. It consists of members of only Lok Sabha. So this is wrong. This is wrong. It also consists of Lok Sabha as well as your Rajya Sabha. The chairperson of the committee of this Public Accounts Committee is elected amongst its member. It is no, it is not amongst its member. It is elected by the speaker. See, small things you need to take care in the polity section. The term of the member is coterminous with the Lok Sabha. This is also wrong. It is 1 year. Now a question with reference to money bill. It cannot be introduced. It can be introduced only on the recommendation of the President. Yes, this is correct. Rajya Sabha cannot reject or amend it. Yes, this is also correct. A President cannot return it for the consideration of the Parliament as it is introduced by his or her consent. It cannot be written back to the Parliament, right? He can withhold it or he cannot give assent, but he cannot return back to the Parliament. No confidence motion, again a very easy question. So no, the third statement, it needs to the state to the reason. It does not need to give any reason for no confidence motion. Again over here, question number 82 also very easy. Which of the following statements are correct? So all the statements are correct with respect to here 358 and 359. About this article, they are asking you regarding national emergency and which of the your fundamental rights or which of the other articles are being suspended during this national emergency. So all the statements are correct over here. Again over here, with reference to rights against exploitation, Article 23 and Article 24. So Article 23 protects the individual not only against the state but also against the private person. Yes, this statement is correct. Article 24 prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14 in all activities. Here it protects in harmful hazardous activities, not in all activities. Harmless में आप कर सकते हो, right? So this statement is incorrect. So answer is only one. Then we have question number 83 के बाद we have question number 89 with respect to the act of Government of India Act of 1935. It abolished the diarchy in the provinces. See what this 1935 act did was it abolished the diarchy in the provinces. So diarchy, that is when the subjects are divided into the transferred list as well as the transferred list and the reserved list. So these two lists were prepared. So this which was introduced, the diarchy which was introduced in 1919 Act, now it was abolished in the provinces, and now this was started at the center. So it was introduced in the center but abolished in the provinces. Now it also provided for provincial autonomy. ये जो provincial autonomy है, it provided for this. It means the legislature was given more power with respect to subjects also and with respect to its hold on the ministers also. So it abolished diarchy in the province. Yes. It provided separate electorate for women and labor, separate electorate which was started in 1909. Now it was introduced for women and labor. It provided for the establishment of RBI. Yes, Federal Bank of India was introduced. We have Federal Public Service Commission that was introduced. We also have a federal court that was started by 1935 Government of India Act. So this statement is also correct. Now we will move to question number 18. Some polity questions. Question number 17. Constitutional amendments are mentioned and what are the provisions that were added? 86th Amendment Act, it was regarding the compulsory elementary education that was added. So this is incorrectly matched. The constitutional status to cooperative society, this was added from the 97th amendment. See, in current you have the issue of cooperatives that is going on. So these first two statements are incorrectly matched. The 103rd Amendment and 104th Amendment Act granted reservation for EWS. This is correct. Removed reservation for Anglo-Indians in Lok Sabha. Yes, according to 104th Amendment Act, this was removed. The reservations for Anglo-Indians was removed. Now, question number 18, very easy. Second schedule, forms of oath and affirmation. This is incorrect. Second schedule deals with your emoluments and related to all the executives. Emoluments regarding executives. These forms of oaths, these are mentioned in the third schedule. So this is incorrectly matched. Fourth schedule, seats in Rajya Sabha. Yes. Seventh schedule, division of powers, that is the number of 3 lists, concurrent list, the state list and the center list. Eighth schedule deals with languages. Yes, 22 languages. So this are, the answer would be 2, 3, 4. Now, question number 19. Do read it correctly. The question that is being asked is, which of the above are incorrect? With reference to the Finance Commission of India, consider the following statement. It is a permanent body. It is a constitutional body consisting of 5 members. Yes, 4 plus 1 member are there, but it is decided by the president from time to time, and the tenure is also decided by the president. So this statement is incorrect. Members appointed by president. Yes, members are appointed by the president, but at an interval of 5 years or earlier. So that is not fixed. The tenure is not fixed. The recommendations are binding. No, they are not binding, but they are advisory in nature. The recommendation of the Finance Commission of India. Now, with reference to the power and functions of the governor, consider the following statement and which of them are correct. That is asked. He or she can summon or prorogue the state legislature and dissolve the state legislative assembly. Is this statement correct? Yes, this statement is definitely correct. She prorogates or ordinances when the state legislature is not in the session, but yes, at least within 6 weeks. There is a provision that within 6 weeks it should be considered. Prior recommendation is mandatory for the money bill. Yes, it is mandatory. Question number 22, very interesting. With reference to the Indian Independence Act of 1947, the Attlee Commission, after the Attlee statement came, that now we will be granting you whole independence. So after this, the Indian Independence Act was passed. So it abolished the office of Secretary of India and transferred his function to the Secretary of State for Commonwealth. So his function was transferred to the Secretary of Commonwealth. The designated Governor General of India and the provisional governors as constitutional heads of state. Yes, it did designate. It discontinued the appointment of civil services and reservation of posts by the Secretary of State. Yes, it did discontinued. So this was about. Now, with reference to Preamble of Indian Constitution, socialist, secular and democratic words were added. Democratic word was not added. The word socialist, secular and integrity was added. The ideals of liberty, equality, fraternity have been borrowed from the French Constitution. Yes, they have been borrowed. So the answer is 2 only. So president's rule. So we have almost covered the political and then we have question number 39, which is related to polity. With reference to municipalities, consider the following statement. All members of a municipality are elected directly by the people. Yes, they are elected directly by the people. It is mandatory for the state government to reserve 1/3 of the chairperson post. No, 1/3 of the seats are reserved for women, but not the person, right? Then we have State Election Commission is responsible to conduct elections to the municipality. Yes, it is State Election Commission that is responsible. So 1 and 3, this is the answer. Now we will move towards your economy section, which will be taken by. So let us start with the economy session.
Hello. So let's start with economy portion of this test. Okay. So let's go to question number 29. And how was the economy portion of the test? Those of you who have attempted test, let me know how was that. How was questions from economy portion? Okay. So let's take question number 29. This is about agriculture subsidies and subjects. Okay, that's about agreement on agriculture of WTO. So we have to check whether which of the pairs are correctly matched. We know green box subsidies are those subsidies which do not distort trade. Okay, that's green box subsidy. So research program is right option. Research program is said to belong to that breed of subsidies which do not directly distort trade. Now let's see amber box. Now amber box subsidy is the elephant in the room, because amber box subsidy is are those subsidies which are said to distort trade maximum. Okay, so of course minimum support price MSP is part of amber box subsidy. Because of this only there are so many issues between India and developed world, not only India, developing countries and developed world, that we have to reduce this amber box subsidy. We have to keep it within we have to keep amber box subsidies within 10% limit. So developed countries are always questioning our MSP program. So this also is correctly matched. Now what is blue box subsidy? Now blue box subsidies are those amber box subsidies which comes with a these are those amber box subsidies which comes with a condition to reduce the production. Okay, so now here if you see fertilizer subsidy in India, fertilizer subsidy in India are not conditioned on this basis that you have to reduce production. So this is incorrect. 2 is incorrect. In fact, fertilizer subsidy in India is also type of amber box subsidy only. Okay, so 1 and 3 is the correct answer. Let's say question number 30. Okay, so consider the following statement with reference to cash reserve ratio. Now see cash reserve ratio. First statement: non-banking financial companies are not required to maintain CRR balance with RBI. Okay, now this is correct statement. You should know which financial entities have to maintain CRR and SLR balance, which do not have to. Okay, most of those banks, they have to maintain it. As far as NBFCs are concerned, there are two types of NBFCs. Okay, there are deposit taking NBFCs and non-deposit taking NBFCs. Okay, so both of the NBFCs are not required to maintain CRR balance. So this is correct statement. But deposit taking NBFCs have to maintain SLR. Be very careful. Okay, deposit taking NBFCs have to maintain SLR. This is that. Second statement, RBI pays interest at reverse repo rate on money kept as CRR balance. Now tell me, is it correct statement that RBI have to pay interest on money kept with it by bank as CRR? No, this is incorrect. Okay, RBI do not have to pay any interest. Second is incorrect statement. So one only. Okay. What about SLR? But do banks keep SLR with RBI? So this you have to ask. Banks do not keep SLR with RBI, isn't it? Banks keep that, maintain that with themselves. So one only is correct answer. Okay, with reference to Swamitava scheme. Now all of you must have seen this scheme in news. This have been consistently in news recently. First, it aims to provide rural people with right to document their residential property. Now this is right. Okay, this is just the basic objective of Swamitava scheme. So there was no rocket science here. Okay, this was done to document their residential property so that they can make economic use of it. So one is correct. Second, it is a central sector scheme. Now is it correct? What is central sector scheme? Okay, so central sector scheme means that union government, central government will pay 100% of its budget. Okay, that is a central sector scheme. So indeed, Swamitava scheme is a central sector scheme. Another way to put this statement would have been that union government pays for all the expenditure under this scheme. That also would have been correct. Okay, another type of a scheme is centrally sponsored scheme. Okay, what is centrally sponsored scheme? You can type here. Okay, you can tell me in your comment what is centrally sponsored scheme. Okay, so it's gone. It is launched by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Now statement number 3 is also correct. Okay, it is launched by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Now can you tell me how this statement could have been wrong? Maybe while framing the statement we could have written that it is launched by Ministry of say rural development. Now even though it is related to village, but it is not by Ministry of Rural Development, it is the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. So the point is, when you are reading these things, you have to anticipate how a question can be wrongly framed. Okay, so again here answer is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so again this question on GST, question number 32. E-way bill must be generated. Now note this word here, must. E-way bill must be generated when there is movement of goods and services of more than 50,000 in value. Now it is right that when the monetary value is more than 50,000, then E-way bill have to be generated. But not for services, only for goods. Okay, sir. Because even if you didn't know, you could have used your common sense to say that suppose you are providing some software services to someone sitting in other state, then how E-way bill can be generated? Okay, it's not crossing any highway. Okay, so E-way bill is related only to goods, not to services. Okay, now second, so statement 1 is incorrect. Okay, that means now you are at 50-50. Unregistered persons are never required to generate E-way bill. Now this is incorrect statement. Okay, unregistered persons, when they are supplying to a registered person, whenever there is a transaction between unregistered and registered person, then unregistered person also have to generate E-way bill. Okay, so again 2 is incorrect. Answer is neither 1 nor 2. Okay, you should also know that what are the exceptions to E-way bill. Okay, one of the interesting exception to e-way bill is e-way bill is charged only if material transfer is happening via motorized vehicles. Okay, so suppose material is being transported by use of truck. Okay, then it can be used. Then e-way will be charged. But if material is being transferred by the use of non-motorized vehicles, suppose a bullock cart, okay, बैलगाड़ी से ट्रांसफर हो रहा है एक जगह से दूसरे जगह पर, तो उस समय e-way bill नहीं लगेगा. This is a very interesting thing which can be misused. Okay. So yeah, neither one nor two. So when you are reading it, always keep searching for exceptions and interesting informations. Okay. Now question number 33, the encasing committee has provided for escape clause. Okay. Now what is escape clause? You know that central government have fiscal deficits target, okay, under FRBM Act, but it may so happen that in unusual circumstances, in extraordinary circumstances, central government may not be able to fulfill this fiscal deficit target. They may have to breach it. So escape clause provides conditions which if happen, central government will be permitted to breach FRBM targets. Okay. So which of the following are among the criteria identified for invocation of escape clause? Okay, see, national security considerations, it's a common sense that if there is a war going on or if there is a national security threat, then it will be there won't be limit on expenditure. So one is correct. Calamity of national proportion, of course, for example, there was COVID, so that was extraordinary time, government resorted to escape clause, so T2 is correct. Severe collapse of agriculture is also one of the reasons, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is correct answer. Fall in real GDP for 2 consecutive years. Okay, see, there is a related point. Okay, there is a related point mentioned in encasing committee report, that if there is a sharp decline in real output growth of at least 3% point below the average for previous 4 quarters, only if there is a sharp decline in real output growth of equal to or more than 3%, only then. Okay, so this scenario, fall in real GDP of 2 consecutive years, is too late. Okay, it's like there is a saying in Hindi, "Ka varsa jab krizi sukhane." It's way too late. Okay, so 4 is incorrect. 4 is incorrect. You have only 1, 2, and 3. Notice this point. Okay, notice this point. This is a very important point. Okay, so now we will go to question number 52. Let's come back again to economy portion. Okay. Okay. Consider the following statement with reference to trends in macroeconomic parameter of Indian economy. There is a steady increase in the fiscal deficit from 2015 to 2021. Is it a correct statement? Let me know, is it a correct statement? Do you think that it is correct? Is it a steady decline, increase in fiscal deficit? No. One golden rule is that none of the macroeconomic parameters have shown a steady increase or decrease. Mostly, so I take my word back. It's not like none of the, but most of the macroeconomic parameters have not followed this trend. Okay, so there is a steady increase. This is incorrect, and there is a steady decrease. Both are incorrect. Okay, the graph have followed something like this. Okay, and this is around 2019-20. Okay, so since 2019-20 there have been an increase in fiscal deficit, and of course because of COVID, in COVID times fiscal deficit have increased. So you might have intuitively guessed that a steady decline in fiscal deficit or primary deficit, it was very improbable. Okay, and this is incorrect also. So answer is neither 1 nor 2. Question number 53 is about P notes. P notes have been asked by UPSC before, and it remains an important topic. Okay, that is because of its the danger of being misused for money laundering operations. So P note remain important. You have to know conceptual things. So first, P notes are issued by FIIs registered with SEBI to overseas investors who are not registered as FII in India. So there are too many facts in one statement. Okay, so these are issued by foreign portfolio investors. This is right. Okay, now those FPIs are registered. See, the main idea of P note is, suppose here we have a foreign investor, okay, who is not registered. Okay, now here we have FII. Okay, so he is registered with SEBI. Okay, so this FII is registered with SEBI. This fellow who is a foreign person, he is not registered with SEBI. Okay, and then this is Indian market. Indian market. Okay, that means a non-registered person, foreign person, can invest in Indian market via a registered FII with SEBI. Okay, so statement 1 is correct. If you know the concept, if you know the meaning of the word P note, then you know that this is correct. Okay, second, these are offshore derivative investment with equity share or debt securities as underlying asset. This is also correct. Here all we were trying to check is whether you know that P note can be used to invest in both equity shares and debt securities. Okay, this was what was attempted to be tested. So 2 is also correct. 3, SEBI has no jurisdiction over participatory note trading. Okay, of course SEBI has no jurisdiction over P note trading. That is why it is such a big headache for SEBI. Okay, that's why SEBI always fears that it may be used to launder money. Okay, so 3 is also correct. 1 to 3 is correct answer. Let's see question number 54. Arrange the following taxes in increasing order of their contribution in period from 2017 to 2021. Now this was very difficult question. This is very factual question. Okay, unless you know it, it was very difficult to answer it. Okay, maybe you could have said that either 3 or 4 would have been the maximum contributor. Okay, now unless you know that goods and services tax have maximum contribution, have made maximum contribution, it's very difficult. But even if you know that goods and services tax have contributed maximum in the tax kitty, then you could have eliminated C and D, but still you have 2 options. Okay, so to get this question right, you had to know that custom duty contributes least. Okay, have contributed least. There is no such rule, but custom duty have contributed least. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the correct order. Okay, but this was very factual question. Unless you know it, it was very difficult. Question number 55. Okay, now this question have been framed to test your understanding of 5-year plans. 5-year plans have been asked before by UPSC, and landmark old schemes. Okay, so about this is some description about this 5-year plan. This 5-year plan was emphasized on rapid food grain production, increased employment creation, and productivity in general. This is a very generic statement. It's very difficult to guess a 5-year plan using first one, but the second one is very specific. The Jawahar Rozgar Yojana was launched during this plan with the motive to create wage employment. Okay, so you should be knowing that roughly approximately in which year Jawahar Rozgar Yojana was launched. Okay, so Jawahar Rozgar Yojana was launched in 1989. Okay, now it does not mean that you go back and make a list of all the schemes and then map it with its year and do ratta. Okay, you रट्टा नहीं मारना है सारे स्कीम्स का, बट एटलीस्ट जो इंपॉर्टेंट स्कीम्स है, जो लैंडमार्क स्कीम्स है, लाइक से ICDS कब स्टार्ट हुआ था, लाइक से मिड डे मील स्कीम, व्हेन मिड डे मील स्कीम स्टार्टेड. Okay, so you should be knowing at least these things. Now as we are crossing time, maybe the question may be asked related to Manrega, when Manrega was asked or launched, or when RTI was launched. So these landmark years at least you should remember, then only you will be able to get this question right. So once you know that Jawahar Rozgar Yojana was launched in 1989, then you will be able to mark it as correct. Okay, but by no way this was an easy question. This was not an easy question because this was it's difficult to remember year of all these schemes. Okay, question number 56. Which of the following factors cause increase in inflation in a country? This was easy question. Okay, by all means this was easy question. So you can first catch this option. Okay, decrease in disposable income. Okay, if there will be decrease in disposable income of the people, then what will happen to the demand in the economy? Okay, if disposable income will reduce, then demand will also come down. Okay, and if demand will come down, then inflation will come down. Okay, so this cannot be correct. Okay, so if 4 cannot be correct, then we will eliminate this 2, and now you are at 50-50. So now you don't have to worry about 135, but you have to worry about option number 2. Okay, now what is option number 2? Option number 2 is increase in black money. Okay, so if there will be increase in black money, then what people will do? People will try to spend it somewhere. Okay, and then it will lead to increase in inflation. In fact, one of the major factors responsible for boom in price of real estate in India was increase in black money, because people had so much black money that they used to inflate the price of the goods. Okay, in this case real estate, and so this led to increase in inflation. So that's one of the things. Okay, so answer is 1, 2, 3 and 5. Okay, so here we have seen how even without considering option number 1, 3 and 5, we could arrive at the answer. Okay, that means you should first pick up the most obvious one, and from there you start elimination. Okay, if you will do it in this way, many times you will be able to solve a question which otherwise you would not have been able to solve. Okay, now let's see question number 57. If central bank purchases a government bond, central bank is purchasing government bond. Okay, then the monetary base will be. Now this is a technical question. To solve this question, you should know what is the definition of monetary base. Okay, so what is monetary base? Monetary base is currency in circulation. Okay, currency in circulation plus, there are 2 more terms, bankers reserve with RBI and other reserves with RBI. But to solve this question, we need to know only this. Okay, monetary base is currency in circulation plus X plus Y. Okay, suppose you don't know X and Y, no harm done. Okay, now if central bank purchases government bond, if central bank is purchasing government bond, means what it is, means it is pushing money in the market. Okay, because it is purchasing government bond, so government is paying money into the market. That means currency in circulation will increase. Okay, so A is the correct answer, increase. So again, be very careful. Nowadays, since last 2-3 years, UPSC have been focusing on terms related to microeconomics. Okay, so this is not microeconomic term. UPSC indeed is focusing on microeconomy also, but UPSC is asking questions related to money supply. Okay, that we have a chapter in NCERT, money supply monetary policy. UPSC have been asking one question from that chapter in recently 2-3 years. So you have to be very careful about the concepts related to that chapter. Okay. Now, which of the following are the part of gross national product, GNP? Now again, this is very basic concept. You know GNP, what is definition of GNP and how GNP is related to GDP. Okay. So GNP is GDP plus net income from abroad. Right. So here, private remittance, it's very simple because if NRI is working in say USA and sending money back to home, then it is adding to the GDP. Net income from abroad, okay, it is net income from abroad. So of course this is correct. Interest on external loan. Suppose India have given loan to Bangladesh, okay, and Bangladesh is giving interest on that, then money is coming into India. So of course it is a part of GNS. Now external grant. So this one was the option where you had to make a decision. Okay. So external grant, indeed it is coming to India or India is giving it, whatever. So this also is part of gross national product. Okay. The problem with external grant is you might have thought that, okay, this is a grant, this is not an income, but the definition says net income from abroad. So if you would have thought in that way, then you would have made the matter complicated. Okay, but external grant also is a income which is coming to India. So this is also correct. 1, 2, 3 is correct answer. So these basic terms are very important. You have to be very clear with these basic terms. Now we'll go to question number 90. This is okay. So yeah, and keep replying. Okay, whenever you feel that you have something to add in the discussion or you want some more clarity on some points, feel free to ask here. Okay. Now question number 90. With reference to European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, consider the following statement. 1. EBRD is fully owned by the European Union and the European Investment Bank. Now this is incorrect. Okay. Like most of multilateral banks, EBRD stakeholding opportunity is open to countries world over. Okay. So countries from other continents are also a stakeholder in EBRD. So one is incorrect. Second, India is not a shareholder of EBRD, but it is recipient of EBRD financing. In fact, it is opposite. Okay, EBRD was in news because India became a shareholder in EBRD. Okay, in 2018, India became a shareholder in EBRD. That's why EBRD was in news. So India is a shareholder, but still, even though India is a shareholder, India cannot take loan from EBRD because EBRD gives loan only to regional countries. Okay, that means only European countries. So 2 is also incorrect. Okay, so option is 1 and 2. So again, this was a counterintuitive fact. Okay. Question number 91. Gender parity index. Gender parity index is released by. Okay, so this was the simple fact. If you know, all right. If you don't know, it was difficult to predict answer. Okay, you might have eliminated IMF because IMF is not related to these things. IMF is more related to balance of payment kind of things. So C could have been incorrect, but it was very difficult to choose one between A, B, and D. But so answer is same. Okay, UNESCO. But you have to also know one more thing, that gender parity index is related to gender gap in education. Now this is very important. So UPSC may ask question like this, that gender parity index is related to then ABCD, then gender gap in health, gender gap in education, gender gap in financial inclusion, gender gap in land holding, whatever. Okay, so gender parity index, the name do not say that gender parity index is related to education, but it indeed is related to education. So be very careful. Question number 92. Which of the following projects will be taken up under Gati Shakti scheme? Now, Gati Shakti scheme, you know that it is a digital platform to promote infrastructure and connectivity, infrastructural connectivity. So you know that this is digital platform. Okay, and it is something related to infrastructure. This you know. Okay. Now, so by this knowledge that this is related to infrastructure, you could have said that okay, 1, 2, 3 most probably will be correct, because all these three things are related to infrastructure development. Okay, but this stack e-portal, even if you know about this portal is about skilling and upskilling people using digital platforms. Okay, so it was very difficult unless you know that this stack portal is related to Gati Shakti scheme. There was a chance that you would have eliminated 4 and arrived at wrong answer. But as it happens, this stack e-portal is also part of Gati Shakti scheme. Now again, the take home point is that whenever you are reading things, always keep your eye open and look for counterintuitive facts, so that because UPSC will also be, UPSC question framer will also be thinking about those counterintuitive facts, how to trap you. So you have to prepare not to get trapped. Question number 92, answer is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Question number 93 is with reference to Pradhan Mantri PM POSHAN scheme. Consider the following statement. The scheme has provision for supplementary nutrition for children in aspirational district. Yes, it is correct. I think even if you would have guessed it right, so it's okay. But be very careful. PM POSHAN scheme is not only for aspirational district. Okay, had the question been like this, that it is only for aspirational district, then it would have been incorrect. But supplementary nutrition for aspirational district is a correct statement. Second, under this scheme, a nutrition expert is to be appointed in each school. Now, statement number 2 and statement number 3, each school is extreme statement, but still it happened to be correct. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3 is correct answer. Again, these are counterintuitive statements, but these statements are correct. Let's come to this. Recently, digital payment solution e-Rupee was launched. Okay, and the e-Rupee, some important distinction between e-Rupee and other existing digital form of payment is that in e-Rupee there is no requirement of bank account and no need for internet connection. Now you know that e-Rupee is a kind of e-voucher where the payment is done via QR code or SMS. Okay, so it do not need any bank account. Even if you do not have a bank account, you can participate in e-Rupee transaction, and you don't need an internet connection as well. So you don't need a smartphone as well. You can think in that manner also, but you do need a phone number. You need a phone number and a basic phone, that will do. You don't need a smartphone. Okay, so 1 and 2 both are correct. Okay, so this was again an interesting piece of information that payment nowadays digital payment can be done without use of bank account and internet. Question number 95. The last official estimate of poverty was in 2011-12 using Tendulkar committee approach. Yes, this is correct statement. In discussion groups, there was some people were raising objection that Rangarajan committee report came after this. Indeed, Rangarajan committee report came after this, but government did not accept it. So 1 remains correct. Okay. Second, both global and national multidimensional poverty index. Now you know that there is a global multidimensional poverty index. Okay, but there is also a national multidimensional poverty index. Okay. statement says that both global and national, two different multidimensional poverty index are based on three equally weighted dimensions: health, education, and standard of living. As it happens, this is correct. Both global and national multidimensional index depends on this. Okay, so the three dimensions are same, but if you will go deep towards indicators, okay, then those indicators are different. Okay, so be very careful. Global multidimensional poverty index is based on 10 indicators, while national multidimensional poverty index is based on 12 indicators. And if you will go deep into that, you will find an interesting difference. Okay, so indicators are not same, but dimensions are same. Let's see this. Okay, now this one was easy question. A strategic disinvestment is transfer of ownership and control of PSU to a private entity. This is correct. Okay, disinvestments are happening nowadays. Air India disinvestment you have just seen. So this is always in news. You should have known this definition. Second, Department of Promotion, Industry and Internal Trade is the nodal department for the strategic stake sale in PSUs. Now, can it be correct? You have to ask yourself this question: can it be correct? This is Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. This is something on trade. Here, Government of India is not trading its property with private sector. Okay, there is no trading involved. It's selling a part of share. But here again, DPIIT belongs to which ministry? Even if you know this, then you know that DPIIT belongs to Ministry of Commerce. Okay, so Ministry of Commerce is not the main ministry which is coordinating in strategic disinvestment. It got to be related to Ministry of Finance. Okay, so Ministry of Finance. So we have DPAM. Okay, DPAM, which is Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, DPAM, which is under Ministry of Finance. This is the nodal department for strategic sale. Okay, so you have to be very clear that which department is directly related to which initiative of the government. So 2 is incorrect. Question number 97. Which of the following statement best describes the frequently used term book building? Nowadays, it's IPO reigning everywhere. Okay, because of recent Ukraine-Russia crisis, the pace of IPO have reduced a bit, but things related to IPO, concepts related to IPO can be asked by UPSC in this year prelims also. So which of the following best describe the term book building? If you have ever invested in IPO, then you know that before finalizing sale of IPO to you, you have to bid for it. Okay, you have to quote your price. So every investor is quoting a price, and then after taking into account those bids, a final bid price is fixed. Okay, so that process is called book building. Book building is a process used in IPO for efficient price discovery. That's what book building is. This was an interesting question. I wanted to know how many of you are getting this correct. Okay, so book building is this. Okay, there is another term related to IPO which can be asked: red herring prospectus. So you go back and Google this term, red herring prospectus, what it is and how it is related to IPO. Question number 98. Which of the following are transfer payments? Okay, now what is transfer payment? If you know that transfer payment means one-way payment. Okay, one-way payment. You are not going to receive any goods or services in exchange. Then you know that unemployment benefit is a transfer payment. So 1 is right. Okay. Then payment made to foreign countries as an interest. This is incorrect. Subsidy, wherever you see the word subsidy or benefit, that is transfer payment. Okay. Free health insurance, this is also transfer payment. Salary of government employees, no, it cannot be transfer payment because government employee is providing service, only then government is putting this. So if you can eliminate 5, you will be here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to make decision on 2. Payment made to foreign countries as an interest. Okay, so foreign countries are we are paying foreign countries interest only because they have given us loan. So this is not a one-way transaction. Okay, this is also two-way transaction. So answer is 1, 3 and 4. All subsidies are transfer payments. 99, which of the following are eligible for being appointed as banking correspondent? This was again a very factual question. If you don't know it, it's very difficult to guess. Okay, so deposit taking NBFCs are not eligible for being appointed as banking correspondent because of conflict in interest which might have. Okay, because they will also be taking deposits and bank will also be asking for deposits, so there may be conflict of interest. So 3, you remove 3. Answer is 1, 2 and 4. And let's come to last question. A loan given to which of the following will be eligible for priority sector lending? So if you know that which sectors are given priority sector lendings, then you will be able to say that Khadi and village industry sector, which is related to MSME, this will be there, okay, because loan given to MSME is eligible. Solar based renewable power generators, of course the loan given to renewable energy sector is eligible. Then startups is eligible. 3 is right. Electric vehicles, Niti Aayog recently have recommended that electric vehicles should be included in PSL. So this is incorrect. Okay, so remove 4. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, this was a question based on current affairs. Okay, so hope you know that how we have used elimination method to solve many of these questions. Okay, but some of the questions are factual, you have to know it. Okay, so there is no way out of that. Okay, thank you, all the best. So now Karuna ma'am will be starting science and tech and environment discussion. Okay, hold on for a second. Karuna ma'am will be
Hello everyone, my name is Karuna Mishra and I'll be continuing this discussion. The topics that I'll be taking today are environment, ecology, science and technology and geography. So you have question number 1 to 15 which are from the environment portion. Question number 1 to 15 which are from the environment portion. Question number 1. Now this question has been framed. This question has been framed from the basic concepts of ecology. Now this particular area has been consistently being asked in your exams. In fact, the basic concepts of ecology and biodiversity. These are two areas which are repeatedly asked in exams. They carry a lot of weightage along with your current affairs, which is an extremely important area. Now, it talks about 4 things, which is ecological niche, ecocline, ecotone and ecosystem. So, I think these are very basic definitions. Ecological niche, as we say, even in normal conversation, you say that you should have your own niche, you should create your own niche. So what exactly is a niche? Niche is a role and position of a species in the environment. For example, what is role of let's say a grasshopper when it comes to the food chain, or let's say rabbit. Rabbit, for example, is a herbivore, will feed on the primary producer, will be food for the carnivores, will also produce waste which will add to the nutrient contents of the soil. etc. So that ways it is basically the niche or the basic or important role which rabbit plays in the entire ecosystem. Now coming to ecocline. Ecocline is nothing but the joint expression of associated community. Whenever there are two different communities, let's say this is ecosystem A, ecosystem B, this is a forest and this is let's say a desert, and in between you have an ecotone region. So this region, this area close to ecosystem A will have species or biodiversity which are similar to ecosystem A, and this area will have species and biodiversity similar to ecosystem B. But as you move away, then this region will have its own distinct species, and species similar to the adjoining ecosystem will go on declining. That is called as ecocline. So this is also correctly matched. Ecotone again is the transition area, and ecosystem is the interaction of flora and fauna with the environment. So yes, all of these are correctly matched. Coming to question number 2, I think again a very factual question. This was in news. This is a type of a gecko which has been recently found in Meghalaya. These kind of questions are asked. You have to keep an eye on the newspaper. Go through Gazette and Cosmos regularly. In Gazette and Cosmos, you get these small nuances about what is in the news, etc. And from there, you can make these notes. Now, coming to question number 3. Question number 3 says, with reference to scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers, in the recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006, it is asking, 1, it gives the right to ownership to land farmed by tribals or forest dwellers subject to a maximum of 4 hectares. Second, community rights have been recognized for the first time. As per this is actually a very important aspect of the Forest Rights Act of 2006. First statement is also correct, that now finally, I think I'll zoom it out for you. The first statement is also correct, that is also correct that it gives rights or right to ownership. So yes, this is also correct and this is also correct, but Gram Sabha is not the final decision making authority. No, Gram Sabha actually gives recommendation. State basically creates the institutions which take the final decisions. And what are these institutions? Here. So the Gram Sabha is empowered to initiate the process. It is empowered to initiate the process, and it is the state government's subdivisional level committee and monitoring committee which actually helps in formation of the final decision of the Forest Dwellers Act. Now coming to the methanol economy program, an initiative by Niti Aayog, what exactly are the important facts about it? So methanol is produced as a byproduct, and can help in reducing the overall dependence on imports, as it can be used as fuel. So methanol can be produced from the carbon dioxide emission from thermal power plant. Second, combustion of methanol has zero nitrogenous oxide and sulfur oxide emissions. It is initiated by the Ministry of New and Renewable. No, it is initiated by Niti Aayog. Rest all of these statements are correct. In fact, your Niti Aayog is pushing for introducing agricultural waste, coal power waste, and all of these for having better methanol production, which can help in cutting down the imports. Now coming to the next question, I think again a very factual question, which is arrange these from north to south in terms of positioning. These are all Ramsar wetland sites. Wular Lake in Jammu and Kashmir, Hokera, Sokar wetland, Chandratal again in Himachal Pradesh, they already have been arranged in north to south direction. Now coming to the next question. Which of the following is are correct about the National Action Plan on Migratory Birds? So basically, your Central Asian Flyway is the important bird highway because of which this plan was initiated. Because of this, your plan was initiated, and it of course encourages the financing by the private sector. It is implemented by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it aims to conserve the migratory birds and their habitat. All of these statements are correct. Coming to the next question. Consider the following statements with respect to, first, greenhouse gases. Now, first of all, you have to understand greenhouse gases are not exactly demonic from every point of view. In fact, the reason you are able to have a temperature which is habitable on earth is because of greenhouse gases. Otherwise, earth would have been a very, very cold planet. It would have been a very, very cold planet. So greenhouse gas effect is a natural phenomena which is extremely important for sustenance of life on earth. So now if we talk about this statement, it says that greenhouse gases in the atmosphere absorb long wave energy emitted from the earth's surface, which is absolutely true. So this is when you read about albedo, the incoming radiation and the outgoing long range solar irradiation. It is these outgoing radiation which are trapped by the greenhouse gases. What are your greenhouse gases? These are carbon dioxide, water vapor, oxides of nitrogen, chlorofluorocarbons, etc. So these actually help in maintaining a warm or habitable climate on earth. Next, in the absence of naturally occurring greenhouse gas effect, the average temperature of the earth's surface would be 40 degree. No, it will be nearly minus 15 to minus 19 degree Celsius. It will be extremely cold. So yes, which of the statements is correct? The statement 1 is the only statement which is correct. Statement 2 is incorrect. Now coming to the next question, which is about the ecological pyramids. Again, a very interesting question. It says that pyramid of biomass is always inverted in aquatic ecosystem. Absolutely correct, because the primary producer here are phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons which have very less biomass. Then you have small fishes. Then you have large fishes. Large fishes, let's say also the majority of the nectins, they are having most of the biomass. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Pyramid of number is always inverted in parasitic food chain. Again, absolutely correct. The parasites are much more in number. Let's say if I have to make a parasitic food chain, let's say there is a grass, then there is or not grass, if I say, then there is, let's say, a tree or a plant which is consumed by goat or goats. These are consumed by decomposers. The decomposers will always be much higher in number. Next is pyramid of energy is always upright in all types of ecosystem. Absolutely correct. It has the 10% rule, that from one trophic level to another trophic level, only 10% of the energy is carried forward. Now coming to the next question. With reference to the EIA, consider the following. What exactly is environmental impact assessment? Environmental impact assessment was initiated in India after the Bhopal gas tragedy incidents which took place in the year 1986. So Bhopal gas tragedy incidents was a eye-opening that you have to have an environmental impact assessment before allowing any project to initiate in an area. So according to that, it basically predicts at the early stage of the project planning, and design, and find ways to reduce the overall damage. Absolutely correct. And it has the statutorily backing, or by the law it has the backing by Environmental Protection Act 1986. Again, both of these statements are correct. So 1 and 2 are correct. Next question, which says that a carbon credit is a permit that allows the owner to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases. So basically it is like I have an industry and I need certain level of emission, छूट चाहिए मुझे, I should be allowed that so much emission can be done, and for that I can either purchase or create carbon credit by reducing overall emission in some other field. So this is correct. Carbon offset, this is correct. Carbon offset again is to compensate for emissions by emission reduction elsewhere. This is where India is also profiting. The developed countries basically purchase carbon credits from organizations and institutions in the developing countries which yet do not have the compulsory limitations of carbon emission. So India also benefits a lot, makes a lot of money from this particular feature. Of course, emission gap report, these reports are repeatedly asked. This report is by the UNEP program. UNEP program in fact is a much older program. UNEP program was the result of the Stockholm Conference of 1972, and it is older than the 1992 Earth Summit which was held in Rio de Janeiro. Now coming to the next question, which is about the climate resilient agriculture. I think it is a very simple question. All of these, strong farmer organization and networking, digital agriculture, credit and insurance, low emission practices, climate informed advisories, all of these are example of or are the key elements for creating climate resilient agriculture. So all of these statements will be correct. With reference to carbon stock, consider the following statement. Higher the carbon stock, higher is the forest capacity. What exactly is carbon stock? Carbon stock is the number of plants, the number of organic material which is found in any region. It can be a forest, it can be soil, it can be water, etc. So, but it is maximum. Higher the carbon stock in the forest. So that means more photosynthesis will be done and more carbon sequestration and absorption can be done here. Among different carbon pools in India, the soil organic carbon is the largest carbon pool of forest carbon stock, and this is true. And second, tropical wet evergreen forest. No, it is not tropical wet evergreen forest. It is the temperate deciduous forest of the Himalayan region. The temperate deciduous forest of the Himalayan region, where you have deodar trees, etc. They are the highest carbon stock per hectare of forest. They have the highest carbon stock per hectare. Coming to 14th question, which says that which of the following are the major reasons behind the extinction of plant? Again, limited polar grains and seed dispersal. You would have come across this statement that if all the bees they are removed from the earth, the entire ecosystem will collapse. So that falls true here also. The pollen grain distribution is extremely important. One for the the fragmentation. Second, also for maintaining the diversity. So this is correct. Increased inbreeding, where that is having monoculture, is also responsible for the extinction of plant species. Increased commercial plantation again is extremely important, because for example in the Marathwada region or the interiors of Maharashtra, using water or planting water guzzling crops such as sugarcane is causing more harm than benefit, both for the environment and for the farmer. And habitat fragmentation, of course, is one of the biggest reason for species extinction and for deterioration of biodiversity. As we have seen, all the biodiversity hotspots are the areas which have a very high biodiversity but are suffering from habitat destruction. So all of these statements are correct. Coming to the 15th question, it says that with reference to National Clean Air Program, consider the following statement. First, it aims to achieve at least 20% reduction. Absolutely correct. Now, this is a factual question. You have to know this. Particulate matter 2.5 and particulate matter 10 are the biggest sources for creation of smog. The Delhi NCR region is the worst sufferer when it comes to winter smog, and the biggest culprits are believed to be the aerosols, which are particulate matter 2.5 and 10. So, according to this program, there is a target of reducing it by at least 20%. Then Central Pollution Control Board is the executing authority. That is also true. it envisages establishing monitoring stations in cities only. No, there are rural stations as well. So this is the incorrect statement. Rest all of these statements are correct. All right, now coming to the second set of questions. Okay. The second set of questions I can find from question number 26, which talks about semiconductors. Now, why semiconductors are important from current affairs point of view? India has a lot of dependence of semiconductor on the imports, and China being the biggest exporter of semiconductors and India being one of the biggest importer. Now you have to understand that any electronic devices, all of these electronic devices use semiconductors. So if you do not have the supply of semiconductor, then basically your electronics industry will fall down, will not be able to survive. Second, because of the Russia Ukraine crisis, another, there is a concern about the availability of semiconductors, because Russia again is an important supplier. So there has been initiatives by India to develop their own infrastructure for creation of semiconductors, fabrication units, etc. This is the reason why this question has been kept in this test. Now coming to next question, which is question number 28. Question number 28 says that it is again a question from geography. Sameru is an important volcanic location which is present in the Java region. Sunda land is considered to be highly active when it comes to tectonic activities. I want you to find them in your atlas, and is formed by the subduction of Indo-Australian plates and Sunda plate. Again, both the statements are absolutely correct. There are few regions which are highly seismic, and Southeast Asia being one of them. Southeast Asia suffers from two types of natural disasters and calamities simultaneously. One is earthquakes and the cyclonic activities. The tropical cyclones are also extremely intense in this region. Now coming to the next set of questions, which is from question number 40. Question number 40 says that here, with reference to the shaft technology. Now, shaft technology is something every Indian should be proud of. It is created by the DRDO. It is an indigenous technology, and in this technology, you basically save your ships. You basically protect the naval ships. You protect the naval ships from enemy missiles, and of course, it has been indigenously developed by DRDO. Next question is very factual. Question number 42 is about the James Webb Telescope, which is believed to be the replacement for Hubble's telescope. Hubble's telescope has recently retired, and it says that, just 1 minute. All right. It is an infrared telescope. First of all, yes, extremely important. It is an infrared telescope. It is a collaboration between NASA, EU. No, it is a collaboration between NASA, EU and Canadian Space Agency. And then it will search atmosphere similar to Earth's. No, it basically will search in any galaxy, every galaxy, which can give us the clues about the Big Bang theory and the origin of the universe. It will also look for the basic elements which are responsible for providing life on any planet, such as methane, carbon, then oxygen, and water vapor, etc. So this basically is going to study all the galaxies, all the different types of galaxies, as well as other parts of universe, which can give us any clue about the possibility of life elsewhere. Now coming to the next question. The next question says that with reference to catalyst. Now catalyst, what is the role of the catalyst? Catalyst basically help in increasing the rate of the reaction and itself being consumed in it, and enzymes are the naturally occurring catalysts responsible for essential biological reaction in the body. Only statement 2 is correct. Enzymes, for example, you have different enzymes in your body which are responsible for various functions. Catalyst is not necessarily consumed inside the as part of the process as well. It helps in increasing the rate, but it not necessarily gets consumed for in the process. Now coming to the next question, which is a disease called as the black quarter disease generally happens in the younger and healthy calves. Cattle, basically different types of draught cattle, and what happens is the animal starts losing the gait or GAIT, gait, or the ability to walk properly. It is a bacterial disease. The moment you see Clostridium, it is a bacterial disease. It is a very deadly disease and has very painful death for the cattle. It is soil borne and it is maximizes during the rainy season. So yes, both these statements are absolutely correct. Coming to the next question, which talks about conservation of biodiversity by the application of biotechnology. Again, an important but extremely easy question. Plant tissue culture, micropropagation, cloning, somatic embryogenesis, organogenesis, growth restrictions, cryopreservation, all of these are example of use of biotechnology for the conservation of biodiversity. So all of these statements are correct. Coming to the next question. The next question says that with reference to the gene drive technique or gene drive technology, what exactly is these statements are correct? So it alters the rule of inheritance. Why this was in news? Because using CRISPR, the entire population of mosquitoes were removed by the plasmodium element which was responsible for malaria. So yes, it can alter the rule of inheritance. It can actually promote the passing on of healthy genes vis-a-vis the unhealthy or problem creating genes. That can be altered. So this is correct. It can reduce and control any vector borne diseases. Yes, the example is control of malaria. The control of malaria. All right. Next question. Next question says that which of the following are the mitigation strategies to fight climate change? Geoengineering. Geoengineering, for example, geotextiles are an example of geoengineering. Switching to nuclear energy. Of course, nuclear energy in fact is one of the biggest source of clean energy. It does not have any byproducts which are harmful for the environment as long as the nuclear waste is handled carefully. Then reforestation, repairing and retrofitting facilities. All of these I think are examples for mitigating climate change. Next question is, now again a very interesting question. We all know that rhizobium is an example of symbiotic relationship. Why? Especially in the pulses where nitrogen fixation is done. Nitrogen cannot be freely used. It needs to undergo fixation, and rhizobium is used for the fixation of that nitrogen. Then you have rhedospirillum. This is a free living nitrogen element, and Anabaena of course is a type of cyanobacteria. It is type of a blue green cyano algae. I think if you have gone through that, when it comes to the primary producers, cyanobacteria actually comes up again and again. It is cyanobacteria is also called as the blue-green algae. These are microorganic organisms. Again, 49 is a very, very factual question. Question number 50 is about the white-bellied heron. Now, my tip for the students who are going for prelims, try to remember all the critically endangered species. It will be very difficult for you to remember the vulnerable and endangered, but try to remember the critically endangered. White-bellied heron, this bird is also an example of critically endangered, found in the Indo-Burma region. It is found in the Indo-Burma region. So it is characterized as endangered, critically endangered, true. It is scheduled, it is listed in schedule 4, again true. and it is endemic to India, also true. So all these statements are correct. Now coming to the last set of questions. The last set of questions are all right. Question number 84. Question number 84, which says that the frequent avalanches and landslides in Himalayas are caused due to first tectonic activities of Himalayas. Absolutely correct. Himalayas lie in the high seismic zone, high risk seismic zone, in which the Indian plate is subsiding, the Eurasian plate is colliding with the Indian plate and subsiding beneath it. Indian plate is the heavier plate, and here because of that the Himalayas are having high tectonic activity, unconsolidated and semi-consolidated deposits. That is, the this region is having the difference why Himalayas one are highly unstable and do not have minerals or do not have rich deposits is because they are not found out of lava deposits. You do not have volcanism happening in the Himalayan region. In fact, these are sedimentary mountains, and sedimentary mountains are comparatively unstable. Then heavy rainfall over short periods, of course, which is also called as the cloud burst phenomena. The cloud burst phenomena is also responsible. So all the three statements are correct. Then you have 84th question. Again, this is a very factual question. Try to search the different types of traditional waters in different regions and then make notes out of this. Here these two are correctly marked. That is, Ding is the traditional water system of the eastern Himalayas in the northeastern region, and Apatami in the trans-Himalayan region, that is the higher Himalayas. These surangams are actually found in the Kerala region in the western Ghats and Korambu in the eastern region. So these are incorrectly marked. The answer would be 1 and 2. But again, a tip that you go through all the different types of local water systems. Now coming to another question, extremely useful question is, what are the following activities that can be done? What are the following activities that can be done by making use of abandoned coal mines? Of course, you can use it for dumping fly ash, pisciculture, afforestation, drinking water storage. You would have seen that there are many quarries which are no more used for extractions, and are used for this purpose. Now coming to the next question, it says that with reference to the sugarcane crop, consider the following. Sugarcane is a weight losing crop. Again, a very big reason why the sugarcane farmers are so much dependent on the government procurement and procurement by different mills, because once the sugarcane is removed from the fields, it start losing its weight over time and is perishable. It is highly perishable. Second, transportation of sugarcane is extremely costly affair, so that makes it again difficult, and because of the sheer weight, it is not able to be traveled for a very long distance. So the local mandis plays an important role here. Brazil is the largest producer. Absolutely correct. The third statement is not correct. The sugarcane crop yield is highest in the southern. In fact, even the sugar content, the sucrose content or the sugar content or the sweetness of sugarcane from the southern states is much higher than the sugarcanes of the northern state, and that is due to the marine effect, because of the marine effect. Now coming to the 88th question, which is regarding heat dome. Heat dome phenomena was recently seen in North America over USA and Canada region, where villages altogether were burnt because of the extreme summer and extreme dry conditions. It is created when an area of high pressure stays over the same area, trapping the very warm air underneath. Exactly. So what is happening? You have extremely warm air, and on that you have high pressure belt, that high pressure belt will not allow the warm air to escape, creating the permanent warm condition. Second, it will not even allow for cloud formation, because you know that high pressure basically means the termination of rainfall. The low pressure or the warm conditions are indicative of rainfall. Second, it helps in cloud formation. No, it is absolutely incorrect. Only statement 1 is correct. Alright, so these were a few important questions from science and technology, environment and geography. If you have any other issues, please do reach out to us. Do let us know the questions where you found the problem. So till then, have a very good day. Thank you very much.